Des. I mean, we've had some absolute humdingers on Coastline over the last couple of months, especially here in EUL. So I think this one holds up a lot of premise. G2, BDS, an old classic. These two teams are going to go at each other. We know that. G2, I am sure, would love to spoil BDS's party. Look up in the top left corner of your screen. Last Playdays, win, 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 win for BDS. There's another few that you can stick on there as well. They are currently 8 games unbeaten inside of Stage 3. They haven't won one of the stages yet. They didn't win Stage 1. They didn't win Stage 2. They got to the major each time, but they didn't top the table. This time, they have topped the table, but can they be the first to do it unbeaten all 9 games? It's G2's opportunity to spoil that party.
It is. I mean, are they the team to do it? Are they kind of team that can stack up against BDS in gun skill and do it on a map like Coastline? I don't want to be that guy, but the answer's a firm no. It's not really the kind of... I don't expect them to be the team that can do it, that can really kind of rival them on a good day when it comes down to the gun skill side of things. Citizen, sure, but across the rest of the team at points, we've seen inconsistencies, which I think is what worries me. However, we'll leave all the talk until the game has actually got underway and we see how the first few rounds play out. BDS start on the attack, a spicy ban or two in the mix. The Jaeger, the key one that I'm looking at there. We saw the Jaeger and my ban earlier on today, which meant that was a grenade-filled match. Here, maybe a little less so, but you still got that Wamai coming in, who, of course, recently had the... I guess everyone wants to call it a buff. Got more magnets, but the range was reduced from 5 meters down to 3.5. So a small nerf to the radius, but still more of those to use does mean more grenades that can be caught, especially on tight maps like Coastline.
It does. G2 going to be starting us off on the defence. We've got the 6th pick from Hungry going from Kaid over to the Echo there. So G2, they're going to have to do something here, Des. We know that the attackers, they don't have the run of things. It's not quite cafe, but still, the attackers will usually find some success on Coastline. So G2, for me, if they want to win here, I think they need to try and tie this up like 3-3 at the half. I think 4-2 to BDS is not the end of the world, but I can see BDS locking it down on defence from there. I think they really need to split this one evenly to G2.
Yeah, that'd be at least the benchmark you're aiming for, but it feels like that more might be the sky's the limit kind of feel to it. We'll see how it plays out and how the rounds begin to develop. One thing I am enjoying about this map, and I think I said it to, I want to say it was Corey. I can't remember if it was Corey, but I said the map, in fact, I think it was Fox said it. The map feels a lot better now, I think, especially because of VIP and the smaller windows that you can play around from the roof, for example. It just gives another place that the defenders can play and stops every single defense feeling like you need to sit in the same positions all the time. A lot of defenders enjoy roaming off around Penthouse Theatre and in towards VIP, and I think that double reinforceable wall now really does help with that fact to make it quite spicy. Kayak almost losing his life, taking 3 or 4 shots on his pushback up towards Cool Vibes. Not the best start, and with no Thunderbird on side, no top-up available.
As you say, Kayak not getting himself off to the perfect start in the round. Could be picked up very, very easily by BDS, who are starting to apply a little bit of pressure. Rafala's got himself onto the double window. He's going to hold a tight angle just inside of sight there. Actually takes the opportunity to dip back out of sight and just use that Twitch drone. He spots out the feet, gives the little yellow ping. They know that the man is playing in the back of Aquarium. And he's going to be pushed from the door now. Can Lems win this fight? He's going to have a yellow ping information, but I'm not sure that he's going to push it immediately. He's got all the information he needs. He knows that the man is crouched. He knows exactly where he is, but it is still a very difficult fight to win. I think he's just waiting for some support, some pressure from elsewhere. No, he goes in and what a shot from Lems. Just manages to pre-fire Kayak with a headshot. Doesn't matter how many HP he had or not. He was dying as soon as that bullet left the gun from Lems. It was an absolute beauty of a pre-fire, Des.
But yellow pings. You gotta love to hate them if you're some people. In other cases, maybe you love them a little bit. Rafal just seeing a snag of a player appearing. Let's not forget Renshiro is likely in his favourite position on this attack as well. He will be holding up on the hookah window along with Playday, who's sat just outside, ready to come running in. In fact, a small change. You've said he's playing on the double window here, so a small bit of difference, but nothing that you'll lose too much sleep over. In fact, to Malara, I think it was just a cam that Javi debated there. You can see him up on the hookah window here with the long angle cut. It's the same attack every single time from BDS. We're very used to seeing it by now, but they've still got all the control they need. Default plant spot available. Citizen holding on the downstairs. Doesn't have a C4, but can do some damage. A Lems into a 3k in the round. BDS looking to an explosive start, yet to lose a member as they find the fourth. And as we said, you just don't see a team that can rival BDS in Europe right now for gun skill. Citizen, the last one left alive, but Shaiko has the final word in their age-old rivalry. A flawless round to start for BDS.
Well, it was the Elems and Shaiko show. Elems, he started things off. It was just a bit of a relay race, really. He came in with a 3k and then passed the baton on to Shaiko, who finished things off with that final sprint and got himself a 2-piece in the round as well. What a performance from BDS to start us off there. That's going to have G2 absolutely reeling. And I'm a bit concerned for G2 inside of this game, Des. I didn't want to say it before we started off, but G2 have had a tough stage. That's the reality. You know, we've got to call it as we see it. And coming into a final match against BDS, you can understand G2 have nothing to play for now. They're locked into fourth. They've got the UL final spot. I don't believe that Vitality can come through and take that. They can tie them up on points, but I think G2 have got the head-to-head. I will stand corrected, but I think that's right.
I think is their head-to-head. So
I think that's right last time I looked at it. So G2 have nothing really to play for at this point. They've been beaten up inside of stage 3. There's problems within the team, I think, you know, in terms of performances. We've seen that. We know that. There's things that need to be fixed. You know, so I can sort of see them thinking, not actively thinking, but it just being like one of those games that's just like, right, let's get the season finished. Like, it's not been the best. Let's get it done. You know, we need to move on. Everybody wants to finish with a win. I'm sure they'd love to stop BDS going unbeaten, but with the way that BDS have been playing and with the impact that G2's performances must have had on mentality, you know, you just look at this and think there's every opportunity for this to just be an absolute steamroller for BDS.
Absolutely. I mean, one round is never really much to go on, and I'll always say, usually, you know, give a team 2 or 3 rounds, and you might see them warm into things. You know, we've seen teams down 0-4 have a timeout, and suddenly the game swings back viciously.
Oh, I hope we do. I hope we do.
We see those games, but again, it's BDS. We're not just talking about any team here. We are talking about the team that I would, you know, easily qualify now as leagues ahead of anyone else in the European competition. And it's starting to shape up into that this stage. A run out from Kayak will give them some success. Rafal losing his life. A good bit of disruptive play to start things off for G2.
There we go. Great start. That's what we're looking for G2. Get yourselves into the game. We want them to get a couple of rounds here because then BDS know that the competition is on. The last thing we want to see for this final matchup is a stomp. I want to see BDS really tested here. If they're going to go unbeaten, Des, I want them to earn it. That much is for sure. I don't want it being handed to them on a silver platter here in the final game. So the more aggressive that G2 can get those kills and really make BDS earn it. Let's all have something to enjoy in this final matchup now. Shaiko, he's going to be on the drones, just looking to check and see exactly what's going on. We've seen G2 going to lengths to hold on to VIP previously. They're not playing with a man inside of there at the moment, but they bring out a lot of trickery with the electrification, particularly. Kayak on the Kaid, he's got all sorts of different positions, angles and tricks to keep those electric cores in place.
Shield taken out by Shaiko, looking in towards Penthouse, which should open this up a little bit more. I think more for security than anything else. He knew no one was going to be sitting behind that as the grenades come singing through, but couldn't hurt to have it. BDS currently sat all spread out throughout Hall of Fame in towards VIP and Bathroom, so very much this heavy north side push coming through. So for G2, it's a case of just holding firm here. They've still got that 90 shield set up, I believe. You've got to be careful about anyone who might try and come into flank on an alternative angle. The swing coming in, Shaiko hoping to find something, but well, mine not quite where he was looking for in the first instance. They dug in, they've got themselves comfortable, so BDS need to be the ones to adapt.
Citizen just looking to find the long angle from Luggage there, unsuccessfully. Shaiko now very aware of the potential position there, going to be watching the flank, no doubt. Citizen already a little bit ahead of the game, though. While Shaiko was still checking in Luggage, he was looking to move through Aquarium and Billiards. Now, Lem's pushing in. He's aware of Kayak's presence, but he could be on the losing end of a gunfight here. Kayak, no, he sees the legs and he gets the man. Great play from Alems there on low health. That could have been asking for trouble. Breeday's got himself inside a sight as he's putting that diffuser down. It's 4 versus 2 all of a sudden, and it's falling apart for G2 as BDS, they've just been able to come in with a near perfect execute, get the diffuser down, get the kills at the same time, and Shiro closes down Citizen, and that is picture perfect from BDS.
Basically world class, right? You're in a 4 versus 5. You make the tiniest move on the downstairs to remove the C4. At the same time, you've got crossfire set up in towards 90. As soon as that plant comes down, you know you're going to have players start moving. The crossfires are held. They find every single kill without losing a single person more in that round. So even in a man-down situation of 4 versus 5, they still finished the round with all 4 left alive. It is like SWAT levels of efficiency here. It is terrifying to see. And for G2, even though that early disruption came out, they had the C4 ready from below. Nothing could have prepared them for what would look like an incredible execute coming out of BDS.
Going to be going down to Kitchen for round number 3. G2 choosing to move on regardless of the fact that they haven't won either of the first 2 sites. They're going to mix it up and keep changing it around, see if they can get any joy elsewhere. Down in the bottom of the map this time, they're going to have to still hold on to the top floor. We've got the sledge being brought along by Renshiro. We've got the Book of Elems, so they can absolutely destroy this upper level of Coastline to get all the vertical angles they could need down into Kitchen and Service. So G2 got to be aware of that, and they're going to have to play some men up there. But the big problem for them is they're going to have to win gunfights, and that is what they've been struggling to do so far.
They have indeed. Now, I always love the way this site is starting to be played more and more now. So before, you could plant just inside the service door. So no one ever really played inside a lobby or security. It wasn't a thing. Whereas now you can't plant in that area. You have to actually push inside of service itself, which means more and more defensive teams are doing exactly what G2 have done here, opening up that triple wall that's soft, giving yourself the long angles and playing into it from security. Now, you might just say, well, just push security and clear the guy out. Yeah, sure, that's all well and good. But in this case, like here, there's shields, there's laser gates, and to make sure they can't just charge in through lobby, there is normally a second or sometimes even a third man playing around lobby to make sure you can support the player that is trying to hold those longer angles. So it forces BDS to have to clear not just the site itself or just get vertical control, they've also got to worry about the lateral clear on the ground floor as well. I think it's a really interesting defense and one that I love seeing being brought out every single time.
These Yokai drones are going to need a service after this one. Des putting in some serious miles, getting around the map and just feeding information in. Hungry even dipping them in and outside, just using those few seconds that he gets of opportunity to try and spot where the BDS players are setting themselves up and just try and get any sort of idea as to where the final push might end up coming from. For the time being, BDS is still on the top floor clearance. They're going to clear out a Vulcan shield. That's going to be some of Virtue's utility moved along. Going to give access into BIP, and as I suggested, they start working on those vertical angles. Now then, Ranchero gets himself a view onto a shield down in Kitchen, but it is not one of the Vulcan shields, so he's not able to take it down. It's going to be a normal deployable shield.
You know, I really need to start watching Iana's icon, her gadget, to know whether or not it's the real one pushing down. I honestly thought...
I do it so many times. I'm like, no, don't run in.
I need to just not comment and just watch in future. Look at the icon before saying anything, because I thought Shaiko was going to do a Shaiko thing and just swing and kill 2 or 3 people. But no, his nades are up on high. We know how much he loved discovering those the first time he played Iana and got the chance to run that over, say, an Ashe, as he used to often like playing in most instances. Did change things up for him in terms of his play style ever so slightly. Kayak's the one holding off here up towards 90. Well, not really looking down towards 90, playing around bars, sorry. A little bit of pressure coming in, but not yet forced away. And the members of BDS wanting to force him out. There's 45 seconds on the clock, and surely you start thinking, okay, boys, time for that pressure to start building up now because you're starting to run that clock down, and G2 still have tons of map control.
Kayak just moving on the flank there, but I think the drone did spot him. Shaiko was very aware of the potential for the challenge coming in from there, and it's ultimately going to be Renshiro to shut down the man from Luggage, just sends him packing and gets the opening kill for BDS. Virtue steps around the corner, puts the Vector to use, managing to get the kill onto Renshiro in a late trade. 18 seconds left to go, and this one is on a knife edge, but you just feel that the advantage is with G2 at the minute because the clock is going to play into their favour. 4 versus 3, Yokai drone shot out. There's an opportunity here for them to get in and get the diffuser down. That's exactly what Playday does. It's 4 versus 2. There's somehow BDS. They're finding the answers once again. There are no questions that G2 can find that BDS do not have a response for. And that is going to be another round closed out. An execution inside of 10 seconds. There's BDS are just absolutely flying on Coastline right now.
It's mortifying, isn't it? Like, to be at 30 seconds, have control of top floor, but no control of lobby, no one clearing out security, no one sunrise side, no one pushing in on kitchen window. You look at that and just think, oh, this is done. They can't get away with this. It's absolutely fine. Like, there's no way they fight back, and G2 can win a round. And then in the last 10 seconds, it just all comes together like clockwork. I know I keep on saying it, but the preparation of this BDS side for executes is terrifying. it is so hard for G2 to find a response, but my God, are they trying? And repeating what we saw in round 2, Penthouse and Theatre coming up next.
It feels a bit like Breeday's come in saying, right, guys, stage 3, I'm behind in the planting stats. I need to be getting that diffuse down.
How many
I need to be getting that diffuse down every round. As it is, he would have had to have planned successfully in every single attacking round to catch up with Prano. So, unfortunately, Breeday, you can take your foot off the gas. You can't make the top spot in stage 3.
Unfortunate for him, but enough that it's still getting them into a commanding position, at least in this round. Or this game, sorry. So even though they might not be top stats, you can still always look back to just how convincing their game has been. Of course, less opportunity if your games are absolutely flying by at the speed of thunder here, because that's how a lot of their games have gone. They have been a lot quicker than the average of what they may have been for other teams. Let's see how Penthouse Theatre shapes up then. Imagine again, you'll see Kite with that electrification on towards the VIP wall. Last time for BDS, it was this big focus up towards the north side. They got themselves the Hall of Fame control, spread across in towards the drop, then got themselves into VIP, got the cross angles ready, and pushed in with that final 30-second or so sprint ready to go. So, is it going to be another, not so much slow, but I'm going to say it, slow start from BDS that then escalates massively into an accelerated execute that comes out and is, oh my God, perfect.
No, it's
just
not.
Like, I mean, this one, yeah, Kayak's getting himself caught out early on. Again, not a dream start. It is what it is.
I mean, we've seen that a few times from Kayak now. He's getting in there. He's trying to be unpredictable. He's trying to get things going for G2. As I said, coming into it, you look at this for G2 and you just think it's an opportunity for them to think, you know what, take the chance. Or if we fancy a peak, let's have a peak. It really doesn't matter too much to them, I don't think. So they're willing to take those risks at the beginning of the round, but Virtue taking a risk there and Shaco just absolutely deleting him from behind the plant pot there. Beautiful kill. Renshiro manages to find Jonker, and it's all falling apart. You said that they've been slow, Des. They've come out, and within a minute, they are 5 versus 2.
They're just playing around here. Oh, do you want to do this round in first gear, guys, or in fifth? Last round was in fifth. We'll take it nice and slow. This one, straight into first gear, razzing it down the motorway and saying, right, we're going all the way to hell with this one. My God, are they really making it feel like hell for G2? A small observation, by the way, Shaiko does have a few rounds where he basically loses both of his drones really early in the round. And I'm thinking that is down to him just being the aggressive entry and giving them intel to feed back and forth, not stressing about losing 2 drones, because then he gets to start using his frags, get his gun up, so on and so forth, and they really start to turn things into a higher gear. All that said, a kill come back in for 2 members of G2. They do start to bounce things back in ever so slowly. Citizen and Hungry getting their names on the kill feed and on the scoreboard for the first time this game.
That's it. They're certainly involved in the game now, but Rafal is well ready for that run out. Hungry getting absolutely decimated as he comes out of the main door. Breeday once again in and getting a plant down. Renshiro takes damage, but it is not enough as he manages to find the kill onto Citizen. 4-0 BDS, and surely we couldn't finish out an unbeaten streak, Des, with an unbeaten game without G2 picking up a single round.
I think just look, again, it's one of those that I look at and just think you cannot give BDS an inch, because look at that gunfight at the very end there as well that Renshiro was in. I think it was in a spot where he got fired at, took a bullet or two and lost a bit of health, and then his immediate response when he kind of gave it a second to breathe, step back in, 1 bullet, kill. End of story. You don't get second chances. You need to land those first few shots. And again, looking up and down the kill feed right now, scoreboard, 4 kills across 4 rounds for G2. This has been brutal, is the only way I can describe it.
It certainly has so far. It's not looking pretty for G2. And as I said, Des, this just smacks of a G2 team that has got a broken spirit, if I'm honest. It's been a tough stage. It's the final game. There's nothing resting on it. And you're coming up against the best in the league, one of the best in the world. And they are just absolutely running over G2 right now. As I say, they're quite happy to come out and take chances. Kayak taking a few early peaks, looking to maybe have a run out, just try and get anything going for G2. But it just doesn't look like it's going to be the case today. I'm not sure if it will end a 7-0 or not. Right now, I wouldn't put any money against it because BDS are looking great. On the attack, I can't see this being anything other than a continuation. Can G2 turn it round at the half, get themselves on attack and find some rounds? Possibly. But G2 really haven't been at their strongest on attack so far.
No, absolutely not, no. It's, on defense, I guess you mean when you say that, right?
No, I mean on attack over the overall stage.
Season. Sorry, yes.
Yeah,
sorry.
Do I look at G2 and think, no, they'll come in on the attack and do well? I think I'm a bit worried when they come in on the attack usually.
Yeah, it's one of those again where it's a attack or defense at this point. It's looking a little bit shaky, but a number of teams are ready for the off-season at this point, understandably. C4 recovered in the nick of time, by the way, before a bunch of bullets came through and would have put that to a bitter end. Shaiko, the one doing the work there. Renshiro, I imagine, once again, you'll see him squared up on the hookah window. We see it all the time where I'll try and play his angle out. They've got to deal with someone downstairs, though, so a small speed bump put before BDS here, but nothing that's going to trip them over. That much you can guarantee.
Ranchiro just pressuring in from the pool entrance there, just looking to put a few shots in towards the defenders that he knows are inside of Sunrise. Just trying to defend on the vertical for the time being. Again, they have got a little bit of vertical denial on side. Kayak with the nitro in hands. There is a little bit of potential. Also those impact nades as well. Of course, Citizen would be able to open up vertical angles from beneath. So something that BDS need to be aware of if they're thinking about going in there and getting that diffuser down, which has certainly been the focus of this team so far. Playday really seeming to get a few of those added on now. G2 just not there to defend that mirror window whatsoever. They're going to lose one, Des. The Twitch drones do get taken out, so that will leave the other mirror window safe, but already the defense is starting to be picked apart.
It's getting to that point, sure, but I'm also looking at the drones on the side of BDS, you know, down to just a few still out on the field, one in back pocket for Shaiko, a bit uncharacteristic, as I say that it gets deployed out and rolled out into the field. They've got time to play with is the most important part, and I just feel you can't count them out until the clock literally hits 0 or until they're all dead. The rounds that we've had where there's been 30 seconds left, 10 seconds left, and it looks like there's no way they could possibly win, they somehow make it happen. Now, Yonka's in a rough spot. They know where he is. He's got one bullet away from death. Oh my god, no way does he fight that back. How does he not get the kill? What is that? That's unbelievable. The man just tanked a face full of bullets and walked away the winner. Now, still, no kills coming back for G2. Yonka's down, and Citizen, once again, finds himself in a 1 versus 5. It is not a dream situation that any player wishes to be in, and it's yet another flawless round coming out for BDS, despite things starting to look a little bit shaky as that round went on.
A flawless round that could potentially lead to a flawless game. Right now, BDS absolutely flying 5-0, and
It's not even funny, is it?
It's not even. It's just cruise control, isn't it? That, you know, that's the reality of what BDS are doing right now. They've just flipped on cruise control, and they are just sat in the third lane, just sailing along. Absolutely no problems. You know, no care in the world right now for BDS. They are setting themselves up perfectly for their national finals this weekend. They're going to be going in there on a very strong win if this continues. There's going to be a final opportunity for G2 here in round 6 to get themselves a defense. But I don't know, Des. It just looks to me like G2, they just all seem to be doing their own thing a little bit. You know, there'll be sort of one takes a bit of a run out. You've got Citizen on the roam who's not always getting engaged until later in the round. I know, you know, he's finding himself in a lot of 1vx situations, and I don't know. They just seem to be playing sort of a bit of an individual style sometimes.
It's going through the motions, essentially, right? They know kind of on paper, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I'm holding this area, I'm doing that thing at this certain time, and they're just doing that. And look, in a way, I kind of get it, right? Like, this is the last game of the stage. It means nothing to you realistically. You can really make a go of it, but I imagine in their mind, they already know that there is tons for this team to work on in the offstage, and nothing they can do right now is going to fix it and potentially give them a win against BDS. So run around and have a bit of fun. As fun as it is being like 4 kills across 5 rounds and 25 deaths collectively, like however you want to paint it is up to you. But for them, it's definitely one of the games that I look at and just think there's no way that was prepped up for this. I
mean, the Nitro, there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe you catch somebody out, but Nitro out of the door, you know, in an attempt to get essentially a spawn peek, you know, it just sort of says everything, really. Shaiko manages to keep himself 2 with nades.
This is
That's
ludicrous.
Going to be Citizen and Jonka down. You know, how do you, at the same time, you know, I've sort of ribbed on G2 a bit there, and, you know, I've said that the performance hasn't been the best, but how do you play against that as well?
I mean, as you were saying that, I just checked out what's happened. Jess is going absolutely mental as to why they've got someone sat behind a shield when there's no Wamai on side. I was going to mention it. It's the first round. We haven't seen them bring a Wamai. They brought it in every other one. And 2 grenades coming from Shaiko. My God, what a shock horror, right? They've just completely ruined them in this round as well. It is rolling over to be a sprint to the finish line. Another flawless round. 3 in 1 game. And D2 still yet to get a Buzz 4 kill. This is just, I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore, Ace. it hurts.
There's nothing to say, realistically. Unfortunately, it feels like G2's stage sort of distilled into a performance. It's been tough for them, and This
is what Pengu gets for baiting us all, by the way. Did you see his tweet earlier? He tweeted out like, don't worry guys, G2's going to go out with a bang and a dub. We're running it down one more time with a picture of him in his G2 jersey. And I was like, don't bait people, come on. All he's done is bait his team into being absolutely ruined by the looks of it. It's unfortunate.
Certainly is. We're going to be heading into this match point as soon as we can do. It's 6-0. We are just picking sides. We're going to get to G2 on the attack now. I'm not sure how big a difference this is going to make, Des. I don't think this is going to have a big impact on the outcome of the game, if I'm honest. Do I look at BDS and think they can lock down this hooker and billiard site? Yes, I do. I would absolutely expect them to do so. I'd be surprised if they didn't, to be honest with you, the way that they've played so far. It's not just about the fact, that G2 have not really been playing cohesively, and ultimately, BDS have been winning gunfights as well. They've been going in there. They've been getting some nice long angle challenges. They've taken opportunities put in front of them. I'm not going to say that they've had to play amazing to get to 6-0 because they haven't. But at the same time, they've certainly taken no prisoners. Then they've punished every mistake in front of them.
All right, Ace. Let's play a little bit of game of fortune telling and predicting the future, shall we? Now,
7-0. 7-0. I think it's 7-0.
Yeah, you know exactly where I'm going with this one. It looks to be shaping out where this game is full of 7s, 0s, and a hell of a lot of 4s if you're Shaiko, but it's looking to be a decisive victory for sure. G2 got to find something on the attacking side, but you'll forgive me if I am pessimistic about the possibility of even a single round going their way. Now, one thing they have done for a little bit of fun is bring along 8 frag grenades, because why the bloody hell not? You still got the Wamai to deal with here. They've got nothing else really to burn through it. So, okay, I guess Renshiro could be quite pivotal in this one. We'll see if any frag grenade kills can come through. But truthfully, I'm not really expecting all that many.
No, I'd agree with you. I think...
Because they'll get killed, Ace. That's my reference.
I think you can... If BDS get a couple of opening frags again here, it's, your race is run at that point, regardless of what you've brought along with you. Virtue, he's going to spray down with the spear, just through the soft wall there, not going to connect with anybody. Out comes the first of those frag grenades, takes a ton of damage off of Rafal, but he's just going to dip away. He's going to play on the corner station. So, yep, they might take a bit of damage from nades, but they're just going to bounce around those salvation stations and find themselves the extra hit points. But Shaiko, he's the one with the explosive kill. Des, you can bring all the nades you want. One nitro from that man, and you've lost somebody already.
Okie dokie. I mean, no real big surprises there. Let's all act shocked, quick. How did they lose a man like that? It's one of those that you look at and you knew it was coming, and it still feels disappointing when it all rolls out. Let's see then if anything else can be done, but as it sits up right now, it's still only 4 kills across an entire game for the side of G2. It has not been a performance worth remembering, needless to say. Again, it is the last game of the season. You'll take that one. I guess the painful part is there was still something in this really for the finals for G2 when you look at how points can shape up based on, standing overall, but that's no likely we're missing out on now.
1 minute left to go. G2, they're going to have to find something, Des. They've not managed to find a kill as of yet inside of this round. It is nade after nade after nade after nade after nade after nade, just raining in from distance, but it is unlikely to get the job done for them. Citizen, he's got a little bit of yellow ping information there. Alems is looking to approach the door, probably loses his life here. Yes, he does. Citizen managing to find the kill on the tight angle. There we go. That could be the trigger for G2 to really get themselves firing. I'm not convinced as of yet. I'm going to need to see a little bit more. Virtue has been in that position for the majority of the round, just looking to spray through the soft wall, but had absolutely no joy whatsoever. 25 seconds left to go, and BDS, they just look like they are set, ready to just hold their angles, Des, and let G2 do the work.
Quite possibly a grenade coming through. And that's pretty much all of them burnt through. They've got none left, and they've only found the one. And 1 for 1 of that is not the dream. C4 onto Yonka. The closeout could be here and right now. The swing coming in. Virtue shut out, but Citizen finds one pushing up the stairs. Will find himself another, a 3K in the round before being shut down by his nemesis. Hungry steps up and will find one off the back of Citizen finding a 3K in the round, and Kayak knows that's maybe as many rounds as they'll get in this entire game, so it's well worth celebrating.
Well, I'd like to say I'm going to eat my words, Des, but, I suppose in terms of scoreline, I will. But, I don't think that one round turns around G2's performance as of yet. If we see them run it all the way back in and get another 6 and we go to overtime, then, maybe we'll start talking differently. But, they've come in there, Citizen with an aggressive push up the Cool Vibe stairs, gets away with a couple of kills. It was, good initiative taken there. Managed to get in and do something for the team, really fire them up a bit in the round, it seemed, and Hungry able to close it out. But I still I don't think it's going to be long until BDS finish this off.
No, I feel very much the same sort of vibe about it as well. It's, again, one of those rounds you look at and go, okay, Citizen found a 3K. He came marching up blue and caught a couple of members by surprise. Nice to get, but nothing that really suggests towards the fortunes improving for the side of G2. Stat padding, we tend to call it at this point, Ace.
Yeah, basically. Just get in there, get whatever kills you can before the game is over, because it's looking like it's going that way. But as I always say, Des, I would love to be surprised by G2 right now. I'd love to see them take 6 attacks in a row and just keep this train rolling. Give us something to shout about. Give us something to get excited about on this final EUL play day. Let's really just mix it up and make BDS earn that unbeaten streak. As it stands, they've got a lot of work to do that. But, I'm rooting for them. I'm right behind them here. Let's have it. Let's see it. Let's come in and start taking rounds.
That's what the dream is, but look, we can gas them up all we like. We know that this game is going one way. We keep on saying it, but it's the vibe.
I'm doing my best, Des. I'm doing my best.
The thing is, Ace, I know that you're having like a massive internal struggle right now. I'm happy to sit here and call a spade a spade. G2 are playing awfully, / BDS are just playing absolutely lights out, some of the best that we've seen them play so far. Even in rounds when it looks lost, they've done wonders. So you've got a team at either end of the spectrum. But you're always such a positive-mannered person
I try my best.
on the stage that it hurts me inside sometimes.
When G2 play behind a shield without a Wamai and get naded by Shaiko, Des, I will say that's a nice nade from Shaiko. I do my best.
Don't worry, buddy. I got you. I'll bring some tissues to Sweden. We'll talk about it. We will get through this game together. We'll make it. Don't worry. Hopefully it turns into being the last round. Otherwise, it feels like BDS are just toying with their food at this point. Let's talk a little around what's going on. It's Lems holding off on the Vigil off towards himself, off towards the side. Very used to seeing this sort of thing. Looking to waste a bit of time around Penthouse and Theatre. Not able to find any kills, but knows that even he, in a 6-1 position on a 9-2 scoreline, doesn't want to find himself in hot water. And smartly so, backs away down towards lobby and will keep G2 guessing.
Yep, Lem's on that Vigil. Just going to be... I'm not sure now. I saw it, but I have the advantage silhouettes there, so I know exactly where Lems was moving. Hungry did get ever so slight a glimpse of the backside of Vigil as he moved through into kitchen, so they may well have known his location, but G2 weren't in a position to challenge quick enough, and that's going to allow Lems to get back onto site. And that's not a criticism of G2. They just weren't in a position to get there quickly enough, even if they did spot him. But Virtue, he's going to go back to the same angle that he played last time around, just underneath the default camera, looking to spray through the soft wall. He's just covering Jonker, who is covering White Stairs. All seem to be covering each other in a different angle at the minute, but not making too much progress forward. But Jonker's certainly aware that there's a Vigil out there, and he's going to have to take the opportunity to come back to site at some point.
All right, 4 nades on side, G2. You can find an A kill with this somewhere. Of that, I'm confident. BDS haven't moved all that much from where they were in the previous round, so take a bit of knowledge, adapt on the fly, chuck a nade there, and hopefully you'll find something. The swing coming in. Shaiko with a nice kill onto Kayak outside Hookah. It's an opener, but can G2 fight their way back through? Will they get hit hard on the flanks by Citizen once again?
Well, they managed to last time around. They were able to fight back. Shaiko got exactly the same opening kill onto Kayak, who's had a tough day in terms of the entry. That much is for sure. 1 and 8 so far on the day. Sorry to call it out, Kayak, but it has not been a good one. 3 versus 5 as Shaiko finds Jonker. Rafal finds Virtue, and you just feel like they've hit that slippery slope. They're standing on ice, and they just can't stop themselves sliding forward. The flank does not work from Citizen this time. G2 trying the same, and they get shut down. BDS able to close it out, and that is going to be stage 3 closed out. Unbeaten for the French side inside of EUL. Congratulations, BDS.
Now, we've said it a number of times, but how many times could we be excited about BDS going into a major or some other event and be saying, oh, they could definitely go on and win this one? It's felt like a while since we've been buzzing with that level of confidence. Always the stage, never the spotlight has been the saying around them. But going into Sweden, I am